Well, hello everyone, and here's a brief recorded session just looking at one of the hidden gems with merchant account services. And we know we have the credit card processing as well as e-check processing, even the Go payment, right? And this just allows for very fast payment, less collections AR. We know all the benefits of merchant account services, the easy reconciling with the bank account, etc. It's a great tool for accountants as well as all your clients. But one key thing to know too is that you don't just have to be in QuickBooks to do this. There is a merchant service center that you can launch either from within QuickBooks if you have QuickBooks installed, or let's say you're out with your laptop, you don't have QuickBooks installed, right? That's back at the office. But because when you get a merchant account, you also get a login to the merchant service center, and you can actually go online and log in there. Essentially, merchantcenter.intuit.com, and of course you'd have your own login, and it would bring you into a web page that looks exactly like this. There are many things that you can do here that you could do also in QuickBooks. So again, you don't have to be in QuickBooks to do some of these transactions, let's say. So processing tools, I can actually charge a card right from the Merchant Service Center if I happen to be at a trade show or something like that. So you just click on, notice I can reverse a transaction, I can credit funds, I can also accept or void an e-check as well. So if I do $200, and I put in the card number, you can also click to swipe the card if you brought your card with you, we'll say, right? And of course you just choose your typical expiration date, hopefully sometime in the future. You can put the cardholder name as well. And these charges can actually be downloaded into QuickBooks after the fact. I've authorized voice code, billing street address, etc., and I'll just do zip code. I believe that should be enough. Submit. It's processing the transaction. So you would see something similar from within QuickBooks if you're on a customer payment window, the receive payment window, or if you're doing it from the sales receipt. But in this case, you can charge a card right online using the Merchant Service Center, as well as many other things. Okay, so here's the receipt. I can actually go ahead and email it to my customer now. I'm at a trade show, let's pretend, an accounting show or something like that. I can email it to his BlackBerry, or I can print it out and show it to him. Okay, I'm going to click done. So you can charge a card. I can reverse. I can also, go ahead and accept an e-check right if I'm there and someone has a check and they pull it out and they have their checkbook with them, as long as they have their banking and routing information. And you can even void out here, either accept or void. So in this case, I'm going to accept it, and I'll just do 1,000. And consumer checking, that's the account it's going to go into. And you choose the whatever routing number it would be. And a phone. You either have signed authorization or your customer's on the phone, or they might just be standing right there, right? Something like that, and you confirm it and then click submit, and that's going to go ahead and take the money out of their bank account, right? So you just read it right off the bottom of the check. Okay, and all these things can be downloaded. Again, payment's been approved, you can email it, void it, print it from there, you're done. Okay. And of course, other processing tools, again, you can create recurring payments out here, and I'll show you the activity and reports next, but the recurring payment's really neat because that's something that also syncs with the QuickBooks file. And if you have, say, a memorized transaction in your QuickBooks, it's like an invoice I'm talking about here, you memorize your invoices, you enter them every day or every week or whatever, you can match that up with a recurring credit card charge as well, and of course you can also set up the recurring credit card charge from the Merchant Service Center. And of course, depending on your internet connection, etc., they have different speed, things like that. So you can add a new customer from here, or just choose a customer, and it should remember it from the item list. See, it's going to pull in Ray Woodman, and then I have first, last name, optional. Just put in the email address because they'll get an email address of this recurring charge, right? You can either auto-generate an invoice for the recurring payment, or you can create or have created an invoice for this recurring payment. So if I choose auto-generate, then I can add the actual invoice items from here. It'll bring me to this, and you type in the item that you have, and in this case, it's also linked to my item list in QuickBooks. And it's going to look for anything that starts with STU and its stuff, and it's also going to pre-fill the amount, and I can choose the quantity, things like that, and I can just add to recurring payment. So this functionality has been around for a while. It's a little different this year for 2011. It actually works with the Sync Manager, but all of this just to show you that it can happen in the Merchant Service Center. So I'm going to start it on the 13th. How often? I'm going to do it weekly, and it's going to recur until the end of June, or whatever you do. Maybe you do it monthly, and it's for the year, for membership dues or something like that. Put in the sales tax amount if you like, and then you choose the credit card. And again, I'm doing this all on the web, right? Not from within QuickBooks. And of course, that is a fake number. All right. Go out to 2013, and then of course you just need the zip. And you can notify the customer that you set it up and click next. Let's see here. Name of the recurring payment. Sorry, this would be for Brogan membership dues. Okay. Forget the spelling. I'm just trying to get to click. And it's going to thank, and then I can also, there's another thing out here too in the Merchant Service Center. We'll look at reports and activity. But I just want to show you some of the critical, typical things that you would want to do that you do typically in QuickBooks, you can do on the Merchant Service Center. So I submit the payment, and then of course Ray's going to get an email telling her of the recurring credit card charge. I'm going to create a memorized invoice later, or you would, as you guys already know how to do that, so I won't show you. And then just have it enter that same day. And with the Sync Manager down below, while that's running, this little thing will run, and it'll apply the recurring payment to the invoice that was automatically entered. So some of the stuff very critical when you're setting things like that up. Now, how about some reporting? Right? You have reporting for transactions, and look, it's loading my managed recurring payments. So even out on the Merchant Service Center, I can keep track of all of my recurring payments I've set up. And again, the Merchant Service Center is something you can launch from QuickBooks, but also from the web. Right? And we'll just to give you an idea what kind of the reports look, we'll just let that run. And there's my recurring payments, and notice some are active and some have expired already. Okay. So, activity and reports. Let's look at transactions. I'm going to click on that. And probably a LAN connection's faster, but I'm on wireless. It works for wireless as well. Payment type, card or check. In this case, I'm going to do card, and I'll look for this month and then search. So I can look at all the individual transactions processed as well from the Merchant Service Center. Some great reports out here. Okay, it gives me the transaction ID, when it was submitted, cardholder name, the card, the number, etc. The batch ID, because these get sent in a batch, and then of course the status and the amount. Okay, so here's your reporting for my 10 days of credit card activity. You could change the date range for other things. Okay, you can also do activity reports for your fees or deposits, things like that, to help you with reconciliation. And then of course your account settings, and then any support issues that you might have there. So I'm going to go ahead and look for fees, see if I have any. Because from here you can also download write the fees right into QuickBooks. Another way to launch while this is going, if I go back into QuickBooks, from the home page you can also click Merchant Service Deposits, and it will also launch it. So a place you can go in the Merchant Service Center, bring it right in there, okay, to record credit card payments and your fees right into QuickBooks. So from either clicking this icon, or under, again, Customers, Credit Card Processing Activities, and then Merchant Service Center, or of course just maybe you have a bookmark, go into the favorites, and I don't have any fees right now, but essentially, let me go ahead and close out of here. So these are the key things that you can do. One more, just looking across: charging cards, reversing transactions, crediting funds. You can do e-check from out here, as well as these are the different reports you can run in your credit card statements.